Welcome to the Manitoba Fitness Council Online Aquatic Fitness Certification, Chapter 12, Functional Fitness. Throughout this chapter, we are going to be reflecting on proper body alignment, posture, and why this is important. We are going to describe the muscles needed for core stabilization and how to train for them while we are in an aquatic fitness environment. Let's define functional fitness and teach movement progressions that are designed for participants' success. Let's describe ideas and progressions for training the pelvic floor, stability training, and functional fitness. In your performance standard, we are going to be touching on body alignment, posture, and core stabilization. Also class design, describing functional fitness, activities of daily living, and opportunities that exist in the water to work on these in a safe and effective manner. When an aqua fitness instructor is standing up on the deck, it may be very hard to determine exactly what we need to change about our postures or what our participants need to change in order to bring them into a more effective and efficient posture. Here is an opportunity for us to assess someone else's posture. So in page 202 of your textbook, there's an assignment that asks you to assess someone else's posture. So if you have two of you that are taking this course, you can do it together. If not, you can do it with a partner, with a friend. So basically you have them stand up and you look for postural deviations. So either one shoulder higher than the other, the hips not completely in line, an anterior tilt, a pelvic tilt, or a posterior tilt. And then try to identify which groups of muscles that your partner should strengthen or stretch in order to improve their posture. You can use page 203 of your textbook when doing the postural assessment. How we hold our bodies reflects muscle imbalances in the body. Poor posture can reflect on which muscles are weak, strong, tight, or overstretched. These combinations can eventually lead to pain and injury. Core stabilization key muscles include the diaphragm, the multifidus, the pelvis floor, and the transverse abdominis. As you can see, there is the pubic symphysis that is pictured on your slide. If you look at that red spot right behind, that's your pelvic floor. Those are the core stabilization that's required in order to keep your muscles, your hip joint in a line, also holding your organs in. The transverse abdominis is that second layer of abdominals, and we can work that in the pool as well. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. The diaphragm is not pictured here. It's up above the ribs, or up above in the ribs. And the multifidus runs along the back. We have to be able to cue each one of these pieces, as these four muscles form a cylinder around the lower core to stabilize and support the spine and the pelvis. Water-specific points for stability. When we are on land, we often have repeated flexion, especially of the spine, that can contribute to injury. Aquafitness provides minimal spinal flexion and instead places the body in more functional standing positions. It allows people to kind of settle in and be in a position that's comfortable, although again, we want to make sure that we are not having significant postural deviations while this is happening. Bouncing or rebounding on land can increase joint stability. The hydrostatic pressure and the buoyancy of the water can increase stability. They can also increase instability if we have people moving from side to side. It's an opportunity to work on stability while in the water. The water also creates unfamiliar environment and overrides the habitual patterns of movement. So basically what happens is we have the neurological patterns that are kind of built into our brain that tell us the way that we move. They send all the messages from our feet, from our arms and legs as we move on land. When we get into the water, we have forces that are moving sideways and forwards and backwards in all different directions. And this changes up the brain patterns and allows us to build new neurological patterns that can adapt to some of those changes and even help with some falls prevention. A couple of activities that we can add to our class to help test for stability in an aquatic environment include the Aqua Firma test. Have students assume an athletic stance with legs wide, knees bent, Using a long lever, bring one arm across the body to the opposite knee or thigh. Look for wobbling. Try it in different water depths and at different speeds and from different sides. We also have the power walk. Have students assume a walk with an arm swing, looking for hip or arm movements distorting from the sagittal plane. Activities of daily living are just that. They are the activities that we need to perform in our daily lives in order to maintain independence. These include things like personal care, which could be getting dressed, brushing our teeth, locomotion, moving ourselves from side to side, front to back, in ability to be able to travel around our own homes, vacuuming, that sort of thing. Shopping and errands. Again, these are things where you are carrying different things, moving from place to place. Any kind of housework where you are up and down. Gardening, where there's significant strength that's required to lift the earth as you take the vegetables out. Driving. We may not think of this necessarily as an activity of daily living, but we need to be able to have reaction time. We need to be able to build opportunities to have safe posture so that we can move, checking side to side. We need to be able to participate in recreation or in sports. Again, reaction time, power, strength, speed are all requirements of these. Functional exercises are those designed with stability, balance, and practicality and function in mind. The goal of functional training is to decrease the loss of ability associated with deconditioning and with a sedentary lifestyle. On page 213 of your textbook, there are some additional examples. So flexibility, if that's the component we're looking at, reaching up to put away groceries or bending over to tie shoelaces. Muscle endurance, being able to walk to and from the store. Muscle strength, being able to carry the groceries home from the store, climbing stairs. Balance, preventing falls, walking on a different surface, so ice, snow, carpet, snowbanks, gravel. Coordination, walking with a natural arm swing, keeping up with the dance, tennis, or golf. Agility, keeping reflexes, fast for self-preservation. Speed, move quickly when needed in an emergency. And power, have the strength and speed that you need simultaneously. There are several progressions that we can add for functional training. Now, these are not meant to be linear, so it's not where we're going from one to the other, but here are different changes that you can make to activities in order to create a more functional component to them. For training for stability, we can train more range of motion and muscular endurance first. We can train muscular strength in isolation, compound, or in whole body movements. We can add movements in other planes, arms in one plane, legs in another. Add sensory changes. We can have people walk across the pool, provided it's safe, with one eye closed, or maybe both eyes closed. We can add speed to the movement. We can add power to the movement. One of the ways to add extra power to the movement is to have them creating white water all the way around them. We can have them add resistance to the movement. So whether that's with aqua bells, maybe it's with something like training where you have inequity training, where you have weight on one side of the body and not on the other. Here are some ideas that you can add to a class to help create functional fitness opportunities while in a water environment. In a cross-country ski, we can move to have one leg anchored to the bottom of the pool instead of having both legs moving. You can change it up. You can have them move 5 on one side, 5 on the other side. You can have them do it for 30 seconds with one leg anchored. You can have them walking in water with a variety of arm actions. We can do anything. We can pull the water in, we can push it away, we can take our arms into breaststroke arms, we can have the hands moving across the body, across the front of the body. We can have them do something called a reach and recover from a fall or a glide. So one of the ways to work on this would be to have One foot anchored on the bottom of the pool. Have them reach themselves all the way forward so that the body is flat with one leg down on the bottom of the pool. Then have them recover, provided that there's someone that it feels comfortable taking that other foot up closer to the top of the water. We can have them transfer a foam dumbbell from high to low, from left to right, from side to side, under the water, on top of the water. We can have them perform jumping jacks with a pec deck arm. So we can have, that would be the two different planes of movement that we were talking about a little bit earlier. Some of these and many more are in your textbook on page 214.